I must say that my survival of the heart, or my ability to bounce back, has not just been because of me, or because I'm a resilient person, or I'm tough, but it's largely because God has really just carried me through. There's so many times where I've even like stopped talking to him, right? Like where I'm just like, I have nothing to say to you right now. If I know you can read my heart. So I think for now, please just do the reading of my heart, because I do not have the words to speak from my lips to your ears. But he's been there. There are times when I don't even have anything in my heart to say to him, because I've just like decided that, you know what, for now I'm just not there. But what I can tell you is that God has like not let me go. Like he has showed up for me in incredible ways. And I've just seen his hand moving things. You know, when you look back and you're like, that can only be God. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not a me thing. That's only God. So when I say I've bounced back and I have a 100% record of survival, it's not lost on me that it's because God has seen it fit that I still be here today. Hello, hi, I am Nobue, and welcome to Seasons, a series where I sit down with some of the incredible people I've had the privilege of rubbing shoulders with, and we chat about the different seasons that we've been through in life or are currently going through, in the hopes that you will feel seen, that you will relate, and that you will know you are not alone. So, those of you who are watching on YouTube can already see that today's episode is a bit different. But for the benefit of those who are listening rather, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, I'm going to paint the scene for you. So today's episode is a bit different, actually maybe a lot different, because first thing is I am sitting here not in my usual seat, so it's clear that I am not at home. And number two, when I was actually doing this introduction, I was like, I don't know if today's episode fits like the general introduction that I gave. This is where I sit down with some people I've rubbed shoulders with, because I am alone today, so I do not have anyone on a chair close to me, next to me. I am sitting alone, so it's obviously not going to be a conversation, a two-people conversation. But I'm going to pretend you're sitting right close to me, or next to me or in front of me, and we are having a conversation. So because there's no one sitting here with me today, the conversation that I'm having today, which you are a part of, is a conversation that I've had with myself, I think, for the past couple of weeks or months. I'm not really a very, very reflective person, but for some reason I found myself in a reflective state, and I found myself thinking, man, what an incredibly, how do I put it, challenging yet fulfilling couple of weeks or months that I've had. And I started to reflect on all the things that have happened and how far I've come in the past couple of months. I am sitting here as someone who has finally crossed the 5,000 subscriber mark here on YouTube. Man, this is surreal. I know, like, in the grand scheme of things, they say comparison is the thief of joy. So in the grand scheme of things, if I started to compare myself with other YouTubers who have been doing maybe the same type of thing, maybe for the same amount of time that I have been, it's easy for me to think, why am I not growing as fast as so and so? But when I actually think about the fact that I started this thing 2.5 years ago, that I've been nowhere as consistent as other people I've seen doing this have been, and yet 5,000 plus people have come on and thought, this is someone I actually want to listen to, not just once, but maybe over and over again. And to have people say, we are going to give you our time every week and listen to whatever it is that you have to say, whatever format it takes, I think it's really, really, really just amazing. When I think back to my first ever video, I titled it Just Start, The World Needs You, or something like that. And I've said over and over again that the whole reason why I started this channel was because I wanted to just talk, right? I love to talk. I love to share ideas. I would say I love to teach. I don't do that a lot, but I just thought this was a platform for me to be able to talk to people who are not necessarily in the room but might want to hear what I have to say, right? And somewhere along the line, I've done a few things. I've tried vlogging here and there, quickly realized, maybe vlogging is not really for me. I'm not that, committed in terms of taking content. I've tried to do like some educational videos. Some have been great. I have done videos about life in London, the visa process, all of that, different types of things in different seasons, and all of it has honestly been well received, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. And before I ramble on further, so you've heard that I have over 5,000 subscribers already. If you're not one of the 5,000, like, what do I need to do for you to join the family? So if please check that you're subscribed, and if you're not subscribed, please just take a small, tiny little moment to click the subscribe button down below, and the notification bell as well. It costs absolutely nothing, but it helps my channel grow. So anyway, where was I? So I did a couple of different types of content over the years, and sometime this year I was like, you know what? I feel I've been talking at people a lot, like sitting in front of the camera, blabbering on, telling people what I think they want to hear, and sometimes they don't even want to hear about it. But how about I sort of shift things a little bit? How about I talk to people on the channel, right? And that's how what you're watching now, which is Seasons, came about. It also came from a deep reflective moment where I was thinking about, the past couple of, at that time, it was the past couple of like months that I had, and the different seasons that I've seen my life go through, right? And the different seasons that I've been through and seen the people around me be through. And I thought it was a great idea to just chat with people, right? Just talk about life. Like, we've all been through one thing or the other, whether it's good or it's bad or it was easy or difficult. I just thought we all have a story to tell, right? And so I thought, let me reach out to people and talk to them and invite them to come and tell me about their business and tell you their business as well, and have a conversation on this channel. And again, I did not expect the level of the kind of reception you guys gave Seasons. It's been so fulfilling to watch. I have stopped looking at the number of views that I get per episode. Like, it is encouraging when you see the numbers going up, the number of views going up, and it kind of makes you feel like, okay, my audience is growing. But as much as that's great, I have kind of stopped making that the focus. And what I've actually done is to take time to go through like the comments in videos, because those comments are the ones that help me know the impact that I have. And I've said before that for me, if I can just impact or touch or change or encourage at least one person, then my job is done. So when I shifted from looking at the number of viewers and just going into the comment section and seeing people saying, thank you for the work that you're doing, I can relate about this. Oh my gosh, I've been through something similar. Oh, I'm actually going through this. This is so helpful. Please keep doing this. That for me has been incredible, and that has fueled my passion and my desire to keep this thing going. So if I'm to sum up, the past couple of months or years that I've had, not to say that this is the absolute sum total of it, but I think one thing that I can say is that I have been in different seasons of doing hard things, right? And so starting YouTube was a hard thing, putting yourself out there when you know that there are so many people who are doing this, who are doing it incredibly, and you're wondering if anyone will even care to listen to you. So that was hard. Starting Seasons also incredibly hard, approaching people and being like, please, can you come on my show and we talk about ABCD, wondering if people will even want to come along, so and a few other things in my personal life that I've had to deal with that are difficult. But basically it's been about like doing hard things. And so, like I said, I was reflecting about it, I think last week, and I was like, I have done hard things and difficult things, but the fact that I'm still here means that I've survived those things. And so what that means to me is that I can do hard and challenging and difficult things and still survive and come up on the top. When you're going through the hard, when you're going through the challenging, it almost always feels like you're drowning and you're never going to surface again. Or it feels like, a cold or cloudy, rainy day when you're wondering if the sun is ever going to shine again. But I took a moment to say, whatever difficult season that I'm in right now, whatever hard thing I'm doing right now, if I look back, there've been hard or even harder things that I've been through and made it through, right? So I have 100% track record right now of surviving the difficult. So if I've survived in the past, I'm sure I can survive now. And I must say that my survival of the hard, or my ability to bounce back, has not just been because of me or because I have I'm a resilient person or I'm tough, but it's largely because God has really just carried me through. There's so many times where I've even like stopped talking to him, right? Like where I'm just like, I have nothing to say to you right now. If I know you can read my heart. So I think for now, please just do the reading of my heart, because I do not have the words to speak from my lips to your ears. But he's been there. There are times when I don't even have anything in my heart to say to him, because I've just like decided that, you know what, for now I'm just not there. But what I can tell you is that God has like not let me go. Like he has showed up for me in incredible ways. And I've just seen his hand moving things. You know, when you look back and you're like, that can only be God. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's not a me thing. That's only God. So when I say I've bounced back and I have a 100% track record of survival, it's not lost on me that it's because God has seen it fit that I still be here today. And then next to God, I think it really has taken a village. So I'm not a child. So I'm not going to say it takes a village to raise a child, because I'm not a child. But one thing that I've learned through this hard season is to really allow people to love me, you know, to allow people to help me, to allow people into my space, into my feelings, into my thoughts. And this is something that I've always struggled with, for a while. I am the type of person who, number one, I think I'm very avoidant of my feelings. So before we even talk about people around me, I tend to avoid confronting my own feelings and like being honest and open and vulnerable with myself about how a particular thing is making me feel, what my fears are, what my thoughts are. So I have a problem with being vulnerable with myself, and I avoid myself. So you can imagine how difficult it is then to, try to let people in and start saying, hey, it's no longer a conversation that I have with myself, but it's now a conversation that I'm having with another person, and I'm letting them in on this thing that's happening. That is even harder for me. I don't know where it stems from. Sometimes I just feel like, one, people don't care that much, right? People have a lot going on, sometimes even worse than I do. So part of it is feeling like, how dare I complain about this when a person has gone through worse? So it's kind of feeling like my feelings are not very valid, kind of feeling like, well, you're not the only one this has happened to, like snap out of it, grow out of it. And feeling like maybe you're bothering people, or people just don't care like that, right? So there's that. And then the second thing is maybe that for whatever reason I want to present a picture of a person who's got everything that's put together, right? Who's got a handle on all my things. And so I would feel like, being vulnerable means letting people see that I'm also like weak, right? That I fail. And the funny thing is that these are human things, right? These are human experiences. Every single human being is weak at one point and strong at another. Every single human being has failed at something, right? So there's no one that I could ever let into my space who can look me straight in the eye and tell me that I cannot relate to you because I've never failed. I've never been weak. I've never been down and out, It's a part of life. Life is cyclical like that. One day you're up, the other you're down. So these thoughts that I've had about, that have prevented me from being vulnerable with people are not those that I can like logically defend, right? Because when I sit down and I sit with myself, right, and I put myself in front of myself and I question and I quiz myself about those things, I know they don't make sense, right? Like, why are you afraid to seem, or why are you afraid to show that you have failed? Why are you afraid to show that you're hurting? Why are you afraid to show that you have really messed up, right? When every other human being has done that as well, right? So it's always been difficult for me, but I think in these different seasons of hard that I've been through, I'm so glad that I got myself to a space where I allowed people in to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the disappointing, the really shocking, all those aspects of me. And it's amazing the amount of grace and kindness and consideration that people have met me with, right? And it's really, affirmed the fact that, things are always worse in our minds or in our imagination than they actually turn out to be. And sitting here, I'm like, I wish I'd allowed myself to be this vulnerable with people in the past. But I'm also just grateful that maybe the time hadn't come and maybe God hadn't yet given me people who would be safe enough for me to walk these journeys with. And so I'm just grateful that I finally found people that I can be vulnerable with. But anyway, because I'm alone here, I'm not going to keep talking for an hour. I mean, listen, I enjoy my own company, right? But even I don't listen to myself talking to myself or about myself for an hour. So I'm just going to take you guys through like about I won't say 5 because as I'm thinking right now and as I was talking right now, a few number of things have popped up in my head that I hadn't written down. But I don't know if I should call them 5 lessons or strategies, or I don't know what word to use, but 5 things, let me say, that I have learned or that I'm learning as I go through the hard. Because trust me, I know even harder things are yet to come, right? So I'm hoping that these things that have helped me through my heart are going to be helpful to you. So the first thing that I've learned in the hard season is to own the hard. I'd say just a few minutes ago that I've always struggled with being vulnerable with myself about my own feelings and owning the feelings that I'm feeling, whether it's fear or anxiety or doubt or just feeling crippled. But these seasons have taught me to own the fact that this thing that I'm going through is hard, to acknowledge the fact that this is something that is genuinely hard, that my feelings are valid. Why that's been helpful for me is because I've come to realize that unless you acknowledge how difficult a thing is, you cannot start to work through it or heal from it or move forward. Because then you're stuck in a space where you're operating as if everything is normal when everything is not normal. And before you know it, you can only avoid owning it for so long. And before you know it, you eventually crash. So I've learned to say, listen, this thing is incredibly hard. We do not know how we're going to get out of this, but as a bare minimum right now, we're owning the fact that this is hard. And by owning it, I don't mean now put on a tag and be that person. You know those people who are always walking around with, life is hard, things are not going well, this and that, and then my cat died, and then the ex fell on the thing. I'm not saying wear a label of being a person who's always complaining about our hard things, but it's just acknowledging the fact that your feelings are valid in that moment and that you are dealing with difficult things. And I think that's the first step that you take in then, figuring out how to navigate the hard. And then I've also learned to take small steps, right? Take each day as it comes. Take each week as it comes. Take each month as it comes. I am a planner of note, right? I am the type of person who I'm turning 30 next year. In my head, I already know how my 30th birthday celebration is going to look like, right? I know where I want it to be, what I want to wear, and all that. And that just doesn't extend to things that I can control. I've learned about myself that I'm a big planner about even things that I can't control. And the past couple of months have taught me that, man plans, but God is the one who establishes, right? And so I've decided to take a step back and say, instead of focusing on how the next 6 months are going to be or the next year or where I want to be in 5 years, how about I just take each day as it comes? As the hard season goes on, can I take today as it comes? Can I take the week, and then on Friday can I sit and be like, phew, that was hard, but we made it. Oh, that was hard, but I laughed at this. Or that was hard, but so and so made me feel good, right? And it has really, one, helped me. It's helped time look like it's moving a lot faster, because when you think about, how will I get to this thing 1 year from now, vis-a-vis how will I get to Friday, you quickly realize that it's Monday, then it's Friday, then it's Sunday, then it's Friday. And as those weeks as time seems to be moving quickly in those smaller chunks of time, which are the weeks and the months, before you know it, then that means also like the bigger chunks, which are the years, are also moving faster. And yeah, it's really just helped me to always take a step back and be like, listen, we survived the week. That's all that matters. And for me, I observe the Sabbath. So on a Friday, I'm always like, thank you, Jesus, for the Sabbath. As hard as the week was, I survived it. And then the third thing, I have learned to take pleasure in small victories, right? It's easy to focus on the things, on the big things that are not going well, or the goals that you want to achieve that you haven't yet achieved, and to start feeling like you are lost. But if you take a step and you sit down, you'll realize that in each and every day or week or month, there are some small victories that you've made. An interesting hard thing that I've picked up as of last week is running. When I tell you that I have loathed running all my life, you will not believe me. I absolutely hate running for as long as I can remember. Even before I gained all this, grown woman weight, when I was still very skinny and 3 kgs, I absolutely hated running, right? Every time I would run, doesn't matter whether it's a sprint or it's a long distance or whatever, I feel like my chest is tightening. My tongue feels swollen. I could literally feel my heartbeat on my throat. I literally would always feel like I'm literally having like a near-death experience. And so for the longest time, I've absolutely hated running. But the funny thing is, as much as I have hated running, I've always admired those people who run. You know, those people who are like, 5 a.m. club. So not 5 a.m. club, I'm not a morning person. But those people who are consistent and, they're posting, oh, I ran my 5K, or first marathon. I've always in my head thought I would make such a good running girl, right? But I just couldn't wrap my head around it. And so when I was doing that reflection, that led me to this point where I was like, I realized that I've survived all the hard. I decided to like do something that I've always found hard and incredibly difficult, and that's running. So I started running last week, Tuesday, and I've done 3 runs so far, and it's been amazing. On Sunday, I was looking at my average pace, right? It's been amazing to see how between Tuesday last week and Sunday, my average pace like had increased. So basically, like the speed at which I was covering a mile or a kilometer has increased. So those are the small victories. I'm not yet there yet, right? I have not even run 3 kilometers yet. I think the most I've done is 2.5 kilometers. But I've decided to take the small victories. The first small victory being on the first day that I ran for 20 minutes straight without a break. Now, previously, I would run 5 minutes and then I would walk the rest. Or like I would run, walk, run. But on the first day, I ran like a whole entire 20 minutes, right? And I didn't take a break. And I could have said, I only just did 2 kilometers after running for 20 minutes. Some people run like 10 kilometers in 30 minutes. Why is mine just? But I remember I was just like, this is a victory. I'm not yet where I want to be yet. I am not yet as strong. I still felt like I was dying, but I chose to focus on the fact that I had run my first ever 20-minute non-stop run and I had made it. So small victories, reflecting, measuring your progress really, really helps you see just how far you've come, along the journey of doing the hard things. And then another thing that I've always kind of, and maybe this was part of me trying to, maintain a certain image, is that I refuse to look like my problems, hey? Like, no matter what I am going through, when I step out of my house, I will make sure I am put together. I'll make sure that I look good, that not just in terms of what I'm wearing, but even my countenance, right? My demeanor, that I look good, like that I relate with people well, that I speak well. And for me, I have just always said, no matter what happens, as the bare minimum, I need to show up for myself by looking my best self. And I've noticed that taking care of myself, even just in terms of how I look, is an incredible mood booster, right? And suddenly, the fog lifts, right? Suddenly the dark cloud and that deep hole kind of lifts, and you have that one thing to be proud of, that one thing to smile about. I did have a period where I just didn't care anymore, quite much, and then when I got back to myself and started again taking care of myself, being interested in the things that make me happy, showing up as a happy bubbly person, I found that that was also affecting or positively changing my internal mood. So that's another thing that has helped me to just never look like my problems, just always look good and put together, and before you know it, maybe your attitude will also go along with how good you look. And then what I would say is the final thing that I've learned, not to sweat the small stuff, right? Like, man, when you've been through difficult things, you realize that you spend a lot of time complaining and sweating stuff that really shouldn't matter, right? And you realize also that you spend a lot of time overlooking the incredible things that you're already blessed with. I have learned to let go of things and people and feelings a lot faster. I have learned not to allow negative feelings or thoughts or fear to linger longer than it needs to. I've learned, like, the first thing, I own and I acknowledge what I'm feeling, but also I'm just like, it is what it is, man. And I pick it up and I go. I've learned to let go of some of, the small little scuffles and conflicts that I have with people, because you know what, life is too short and there are too many hard things to be doing for you to, for me to use my energy focusing on the small stuff. And on the converse side, I've learned to be reflective about the things that I've been blessed with. And I have, like, brought it down to a granular level where I'm like, the place that I live in right now, a year ago, if you had told me I'd be living in the house that I'm living in right now, I would not have believed you, right? The things that I have, the friends that I have, the incredible community that I have, peace of mind, just knowing that all my needs are taken care of, knowing my parents are aging but they are well, knowing my sister and her husband also doing well where they are. I've just learned to embrace the good, to be grateful for the blessings, even when I'm looking forward to, or I'm yearning for, and I'm praying for that, one or two other blessings. Just to say, you know what, I know there's this one thing that hasn't happened to me or for me, but in the grand scheme of things, man, I'm so blessed. And that has helped me not to focus on the hard, right? That has helped me to disassociate from the hard for a while and to just live in the good. And I think another thing that I struggled with in one of my hard seasons was feeling like I couldn't, like, I didn't deserve to smile or laugh, right? When you feel like, how dare you laugh when your life is falling apart? How dare you smile? How dare you, like, have a good time? How dare you eat a burger when things are burning up, right? How dare you watch movies, right, when your life is falling apart? But I've also learned that it's okay. Stuff, like, life happens all at once. It's okay to take a pause from the heart and the tears and all that, and laugh a little and enjoy yourself a little, and then come back to it later. And that has really helped me to maintain a much lighter mood, a better mood, and has also just, like, really helped me navigate the hard. And I think, to sum up all the things that I've learned in navigating hard, looking back, I can really say that I've learned that I'm much stronger than I thought I was, right? Like, when you're at the start of something that's difficult, you really feel like this thing is going to kill me. But looking at the fact that I've survived all the things that have tried to kill me in the past and I'm still here, I've learned that I am much stronger than I think. And I'm hoping that the next time I'm faced with something that is hard and difficult, I'll remember the fact that I am stronger than I think. And I've also learned that, man, God and time make an incredible team when it comes to, I don't know, sorting things out or healing or calming fears or dispelling doubts. Time and allowing God to do what he does with time really just, it just works, man. So whatever it is that you're going through, whatever difficult season that you use where you feel like the tunnel is not ending, just know with time and with God, the sun will shine again. The sun will shine again. So yeah, this is basically what I have for you today. Again, the whole point of seasons is that you must feel seen, that you must relate, and that you must know you're not alone. So I hope as I was talking through my hard seasons that you got something. Maybe these are things that you've always known and practiced. Maybe you've mastered the art of doing the hard. But for that one person who just didn't know how to navigate difficult things, I hope this was it for you, and I hope that you take one or two, three things from this. So in the spirit of doing hard things, I'm obviously, like I said earlier, today I'm in a different set. I'm not in my house. I am alone. I don't have anyone close to me. But I'm challenging myself to do hard things again. And so I am going to extend myself even further than I've already done with seasons. And I'm going to approach a few people that I have watched maybe in the mostly in the professional space, people who don't really know me at all, but people that I admire and I've seen stuff in that I really, really wish and I would love if they would come in and share on the platform. So this is me stepping into my next phase of hard with seasons. So if you had noticed, the first 9 episodes of seasons were people that I kind of know, mostly were my friends or people who have known for a long time. And so those people that were easy to just approach and be like, hey, do you want to come on and talk about this? As hard as that was, what I'm about to do is going to be incredibly difficult, even more difficult, because I'm going to approach people who don't really know me like that, who don't really owe me like that, who can very well just say, no, not interested, sorry, because we don't know each other like that. But I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to pitch myself to those people and invite them on. So please pray for me if you're a person who prays, and pray that this thing that I'm trying to build here works out. This has been great. I have enjoyed talking to you guys, and I have enjoyed having you part of this conversation that I've had with myself. Keep well. Like, share, subscribe. Let's talk in the comment section as always, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.